Here he is, Daisy Thomas.
Yeah,
Daisy. As
How
your
good.
workload starts to just ease back slightly.
Just starts to be a little bit more relaxed.
Because it's been hectic.
It has
for
been
the last
hectic.
6 months.
And now just some less games over weekends and whatnot. So I'll be looking forward to that. And as we've just spoken about off air, hopefully it sort of coincides the end of footy and then some lockdown easing. And
Yes.
I can go and relax and enjoy myself.
Hit a couple of balls.
That's it.
Mate, what did you do? What did you work on the weekend?
I worked on a show, just a preview show. I didn't actually have a game on the weekend.
So special comments for anyone?
Yeah, we only had the 4 games to get through. So the teams were spread across them. But, geez, there's some bloody good games of footy and some controversy as well. It wouldn't be finals footy without controversy. And, of course, Toby Green.
Why don't we start there? What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
It's going to be a real pickle.
Is it going to be a Diesel-Williams 9-week break?
Well, I don't think it's going to be that. There was one man from the West who was a great from over there. We'll leave him nameless. He went off and said maybe he deserves 12 weeks, which in the context of a career and a season...
it's not 12.
It's probably about 12 too many. So it's going to be...
It's got to be 2, hasn't it? Minimum.
Well, it's interesting because Lachie Neale touched an umpire earlier in the season. He had blood coming from his nose and he alerted the umpire, but it was quite...
It was almost friendly.
Well, to some extent. He pulled on his arm, though. And so it's either you can't touch umpires or you can. Whether you're grumpy or you're not.
Yeah,
shouldn't be
right.
the thing.
What about the old-fashioned high five? Is there a chance for that too? Has that been lost in the wash?
I think that's been lost.
Just a bit of boo.
Yeah.
You're going well.
Yeah, it should just be a covert elbow anyway. So it's very unhygienic. So it's going to be interesting because it's obviously been sent straight to the tribunal.
Yeah.
So Chris O, the match review officer,
Wiped
could
his
have...
hands of it.
Well, he could have given him a fine.
Yeah.
So, and said, no, it was...
It's bigger than a fine.
Whatever the grading is. So now we get to go through the absolute circus that this will be.
Well, Will, you were saying it has to tick 3 or 4 different boxes. Like it has to be aggressive, it has to be something else.
Unreasonable, unnecessary.
There's 4 different criteria, and when you read them out, it sounds like he ticks.
Have you got them there?
I'm getting them up. I'm
Yeah.
trying to.
You're paying. I wasn't sure what you were doing.
So,
We'll just chat amongst ourselves if you
You weren't
want.
saying what I wanted you to say
I know.
for ages.
So Toby Green, it must be proved that he was
Reading
disrespectful.
Here we go.
Reading
Here we go.
slower
We're
now.
there now.
The
disrespectful,
page is loading.
demonstrative, aggressive, or forceful.
And it was all of those.
I don't think it was forceful.
Yeah, forceful's an interesting one.
Demonstrative, well,
I'll
that's
tell you what
open
it
to
was.
interpretation.
Yeah,
I
they
tell you
all
what
are.
it was, Daisy. Stupid.
It was silly. It was a heat of the moment thing, but this is the thing. When you're a player and you're in a final, and regardless if it's a final or not, you walk around and you just bump into people.
Yeah, all the time.
Like you walk back to your position and someone shoves you and you get a drink and you turn around and there's someone there. You just walk through people. He's not thinking, I'm trying to belt the umpire. He's just going about his business. You're in my way. I'll walk past you. It wasn't, if he wanted to flatten him, he would have flattened him. And he didn't do that, thankfully, because we don't want that in any sort of sport. But
no, he'd be rubbed out forever.
it is, again, it's just something that you don't need to happen. And
It's
gonna
classic Toby Green.
It's going to be the talking point of the week, and whether or not it goes, and then they, like they did with the danger thing, they then go and appeal that and how long this drags on for, because they've got a big game of footy coming up against the Cats as well, which last time Toby played against the Cats, he got rubbed out in that one too. So
Well, he's been labelled a grub.
he's not a grub.
Well, that's what he's been labelled.
Yeah.
And
Is that just by you?
These probably. I've labelled him a grub.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But these sorts of things just don't help him.
They don't, and
You
for a fair while there, he's been captain of the Giants.
He was
whilst
going
Cornelio's
beautifully.
Been out. He's been, he was doing a great
I mean,
job.
even
He
the
looked
Paddy
like,
Dangerfield forearm, we forgave him for that.
correct. He looked like he'd almost changed his ways, but again, it's passion. If you saw him with the ball on the final siren, it is raw emotion and passion that he plays with. That's why he's a gun.
It's such a shame if he does get, I mean, he'll get what he deserves, but it's such a shame because he single-handedly dragged that team kicking and screaming into the finals.
Yes, and I think with the way the world is these days, I think he doesn't stand a chance to get off because of the
No way.
aesthetics of it.
Absolutely no way.
Winners.
Daisy winners. I won't put you on the spot, Daisy, and ask
Do
you
it.
who the dumbest footballer you've ever met is. But Jaidyn Stephenson, it feels like he'd give it a nudge.
When I read that the release from North Melbourne, I had tears in my eyes. Someone was going to stuff up.
Yeah.
You got these players who've just finished the season and generally
No Mad Mondays.
they're allowed to go out and they get locked in a pen and they have their Mad Monday so they don't stuff up and people never find out about it.
Supervised.
Correct. By armed guards.
I'm always amazed that Mad Mondays aren't happening at the actual club.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys spend a lot of time at the club, but it does seem like the safest place for 40 blokes to tear loose.
Again, though, if somebody buggers up and drives a mountain bike off a roof or something at a club, then it's worse than doing it at your home. So
Is that what he did?
well, I don't know if it was off a roof, but it was off a balcony, I'm led to believe. He tried to do a trick off a balcony and landed
in the backyard.
and landed in the backyard on a paver on his hip
God
after a couple of sherbet, which is it's quite serious because it's a bit of an error. But
Well, he'll miss
it's
pre-season,
also-
they reckon.
it's piss funny.
It's good TikTok.
If he lands it, it's magic.
He's on board. What do you want to do? There's a bike there. Hang on, let's do some tricks.
Hang on. I reckon I could land this.
So I love that. And the fact of when North Melbourne leak it out too.
Yeah.
So there's two back-to-back finals games about to go.
Ease it
15 minutes before that, they just sort of slide it
Ease-
out, the
ease it
release,
out.
and we move on and hope that
And described as a small, possibly a small fraction.
Yeah.
It could be okay.
it could be
But he
fine.
will miss pre-season.
Which is a treat, which is probably the only good thing to come out of it because pre-season sucks. We'll go through the winners, and there's nothing great about this week's winners. It's just the games that were played.
Sydney did everything they could to miss this week's finals
They,
and achieved it.
Yeah, they gassed it. They
they?
were all
Right.
over the GWS Giants and just could not get it done when it counted. So they had a fantastic season, there's no doubt about that, but they arguably should be going through. But that's the nature of an elimination final. So
John Longmire's been a wonderful coach, hasn't he?
He's been.
Over the longest period.
They were 16th last year on the ladder,
I know.
Sydney. So that's a remarkable turnaround. And the upside, again, for what they've got, it's not all doom and gloom. They're not an old list. They've got young kids coming through who are fantastic. Obviously, the big Budweiser there will not get to 1,000 goals this
Phenomenal
year.
club.
Yeah,
Phenomenal club.
Fantastic stuff. Port Adelaide, Friday night, way back when. How good were they against the Putty
Just
Cats?
smashed them.
An absolute touch-up, a coaching masterclass too, and very rarely does Chris Scott get out-coached. But on this occasion, there was a couple of them over the weekend. I think that he certainly was the Alir move and where he was played. It was genius because
Took a lot of intercept marks, didn't he?
well, you don't want to get beaten by what you know, and that's exactly what happened. They could not stop his influence in the game in the first quarter, and that just set it up from there. So they ran away with that 43 points.
5-13 doesn't help, does it?
It doesn't. And that's a bit of an issue. And now the interesting thing is everyone's coming and calling for the Cats saying, they can't win finals. It's tough to win finals.
Yeah.
You obviously come up against the best opposition and whatnot. So
Yeah. I've never played one, but I could imagine it would be.
how did you not?
No, never quite made
They
it.
need to update your Wikipedia page. then. The Giants, we spoke of that 1-point win. The D's.
The D's looked good,
Will's
didn't they?
Lions. Will,
Well,
Yep.
what's happened?
what do you know about tennis?
What do you mean?
Like 6 love, 6 love, 6 love. That's
Straight
straight sets.
sets, yeah.
Yeah. Are you concerned?
Massively concerned with McStay. He'll be out with concussion.
Yes.
He was out very early and it messed with our structure. And then if we lose to the Bulldogs this week, who look like they might have hit form,
Yeah, they look good.
that'll be 1 from 5 in 3 years after finishing.
So
top
you're
four.
you're officially on the record as saying we should shift our attention from the Cats to the poor performances of Lions in the finals.
Oh, if you like.
That's what Daisy's hearing, and I agree.
Big Cat theme.
I
So
tell you who was disappointing, the Bombers.
Well-
4-12-36.
yeah, they were. They had a crack. It wasn't the best conditions down there in Tassie,
Oh
if you
my
could
God.
believe that.
Launceston looked
What a-
like absolute hell,
A
didn't
great
it? Yeah, come to
advertisement
Tassie.
for the game. We want a team.
Yeah, no, I'm
Sign
right.
me up for that.
No, Launceston.
We
it's
love
hard.
the people down in Tassie, but
Yeah.
geez, your weather is crap.
Mate, that was coming straight out of the South Pole.
Oh, it looked.
Could you imagine?
I saw Abby Holmes was down there, and she put an Instagram up of her and Luke Hodges just doing a bit of a rap. And Hodgie was speaking. He had the dragon breath going. It was,
Yeah, it looked like hell.
It was tough.
Awful.
So the
Just
dogs
an
were
old-fashioned
fantastic.
horse bite down there
We
is
don't-
all it would have taken
We
for
don't-
me to be back in the sheds.
We don't like that. The D's, as we said, they were fantastic. So the D's and Port obviously into the prelims, and then we've got the Cats and the Giants. We probably assume the Cats get it done there.
With no Toby, yeah.
But we said that last time they played down at Cardinia Park and they got a touch up. And then the Lions v the Dogs, which is the big ones, because the Dogs were horrific for the last 3 weeks.
And they just turned it around.
But they flicked it. They flicked it, and
The Bont.
they were just good. All that Libber was back to his best. They hit the
The young
scoreboard.
blonde kid who kicked 4.
Waitman.
I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, he's very good. He got a lot of free kicks, but neither here nor there. So they were good. So it's going to be a pumping round of finals.
Oh,
Second week of finals. And, well, the winner of Catch Giants plays the D's.
yeah.
So I reckon the D's would be cheering pretty hard for the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones to beat the D's.
The D's are the ones to beat, and Port Adelaide have given themselves every chance getting through.
Yeah, well done, Daisy. Have a lovely week.
I bloody will. You too.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Triple M.